I told you there was a way to relieve stress and overwhelm in as little as 10 minutes? It's free and you can do it from the comfort of your own home. It's called tapping, or emotional freedom technique, and mixes Eastern traditions of acupuncture with Western psychotherapy. Our traditional mental health services are in a sorry state. If you are hoping for an appointment with the NHS, expect waiting lists that are years long. Private therapy is expensive and out of the reach of many. And actually, they have waiting lists now too. We are repeatedly told to go to therapy, deal with our mental health, but for many it's simply inaccessible. The good news is that tapping provides another option. It might sound a little strange, tapping on your head and other parts of your body to get rid of stress. But with a mounting mental health crisis, can you afford to not at least give it a try? When I first came across tapping, I'd spent 10 years in traditional talk therapy. I guess initially it was nice to have someone to talk to every week, to have my feelings validated. But my core symptoms, the dysregulation I felt on a daily basis, was not getting any better. At times it could make it worse. My frustration grew with the process and I felt incurable, a hopeless case. I started to dread my appointments. I was desperate to get out, but I still felt I should be in therapy because that's what everyone tells you to do. Plus I was doing this really challenging parenting job and I knew I needed to be looking after me. If I didn't do therapy, what was I going to do? Then a friend suggested tapping to me. I thought it sounded a bit kooky, tapping on different parts of your body while reciting various statements about your feelings. How could that help? And honestly, I had tried so many things. CBT, CPT, EMDR, IFS, every mix of letters going. Nothing worked on me. But I was desperate to try something. So with a cynical mind, I gave it a go. OMG, mind blown. It was wild. I felt almost immediate relief. In 10 minutes, I achieved something that I couldn't achieve in 10 years of talk therapy. It wasn't just the immediate relief either. It also peeled away with different layers of emotion to understand what I was really feeling. Let me explain. At the end of another particularly stressful day, I decided to do some tapping to release all the anger I was feeling about school and the whole crummy education system. I wanted to release it before bed in the hope that I would sleep better. I went through what they call the algorithm, the process of tapping on different parts of your body and saying the different statements. The anger dissipated, but I didn't feel better. Something else was there, and it was huge. It was an overwhelming sense of loneliness. I felt like our school had given up on my daughter. They weren't listening to me, and they didn't understand what we were going through. Inside that loneliness was deep, deep sadness. By peeling away the layers of the emotional onion, I was able to work on the core emotions. Tears began to flow. I thought it was going to overwhelm me, but using the positive affirmation statements, I released the sadness and brought myself back down again. It was like a pilot gently bringing a 747 into land. The problems with school were obviously still all there, but I felt I could approach them with so much more confidence and calmness. I slept soundly that night too. I've been using tapping ever since. I joke that I do 10 minutes tapping before opening any email from the local authority, although actually it's not really a joke. Around this time, my daughter was struggling a lot emotionally too, especially at night. We'd bought this book to help her process her feelings, and we tried various exercises. She seemed to enjoy them, but when it came to actually going to bed, she wasn't able to implement any of them. All her old fears came up. I wondered if tapping might work as well for her as it had for me. We tried to do it together, getting her to copy me. That was too hard for her. She has both coordination problems and speech and language difficulties. But one of the great things about tapping is that there is a wide margin of error. So there are specific points she was supposed to tap, but it doesn't matter if someone taps for you or even if you skip some, and you don't have to say the statements out loud. You can sit and listen while someone else speaks. So my daughter tells me her worries and I form the statements for her while tapping on the different parts of her body. And because of her sensory difficulties, there were some spots she doesn't like me touching. I just skip them. The first night I did it on her, she stared at me afterwards and asked if I made it up. I explained it was something I had learned and had been using it on myself. She said it made her feel sleepy and unable to keep her eyes open. She fell asleep almost immediately. I think she believes I'm some kind of sorceress now. You might be wondering, how does it all work? Well, in Chinese traditional medicine, they refer to something called the meridian pathway, which is an energy flow around our body. On certain parts of the body, that flow is closer to the surface of the skin. That is your hand, they call this the karate chop point, the eyebrow, the side of the eye, under the nose, under the mouth, the collarbone, under the arm, where your bra strap is if you're a woman, and the top of the head. In acupuncture, this is where they put the needles. In EFT, this is where we gently tap with 2 fingers. It's believed pressure on these points sends a message to the brain that you are safe. While tapping on these points, we recite statements about our feelings, acknowledging that they are present, that it's okay to feel them, but also okay to let them go. This is the psychotherapy part. The combination of tapping and statements allows the release of stress hormones, which helps your mind and body relax. Honestly, you have to try it. The first time I did it, I couldn't believe it. In only 10 minutes, my body had completely let go of whatever it was holding on to. Mental health practices typically focus on the mind, getting people to talk about their problems and process them cognitively. Yet we've known for decades that stress is held in the body, disrupting our entire nervous system. It's why you get digestive problems, headaches, and other pains when you're stressed. Stress will run down your immune system, making you prone to colds and other infections. It will play havoc with your hormones, and chronic stress may lead to the increased risk of high blood pressure and heart disease. Talking about your problems may be enough for short-term issues, but when you're a parent, carer, and enduring chronic stress, you're going to need something more. I know some of you will want to know about the evidence for tapping. It's a fair enough question, although the answer is a little bit complicated. Western science has always struggled to make sense of acupuncture, even though the evidence exists that it works. There is growing evidence that tapping works too. A recent breakthrough by scientists in the US may bring us some answers. They have discovered what they call a new organ. It's a network of connected tissues or fibres that encases and seems to link all our vital organs. They call it the interstitium. And while we can't yet prove it is the meridian pathway, scientists call it a bridge between Western science and traditional Eastern medicines. Regardless of the scientific evidence, I know it works for me. And there is a growing community of practitioners and users who have seen it change lives. It can be used with a wide range of issues too, including anxiety, depression, phobias, and chronic pain. So what do you have to lose? Why not give it a go? If you visit my website, you can sign up for a guided tapping meditation. Just give it a go, once a day for a week, and see how you feel. In the meditation, you will be asked to rate your stress before and after tapping. I really encourage you to do that. It's not just some corporate evaluation exercise. It really helps you to tune in to your feelings and actively monitor the changes in your body. It's good for building your child's emotional literacy too. If you do feel the benefits of tapping, get in touch. I can help you look at some further meditations targeted at both your specific needs and your child's. For example, you might want something to help with their sleep or going into school. It's the same algorithm, but we tweak the wording slightly for you. I urge you to give it a try. Thousands like me already have and found it has changed our lives. I'll pop a link in the description where you can get the free guided meditation. Once you've tried it, leave me a comment below to let me know how it's worked for you. Happy tapping.